Hey, yo, everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review. And today we're going to be doing my comic load for the week. So this is the second week of the month. We got a lot of Batman and a lot of stuff for the On the Edge DC kind of comic area too. I meant to pick up Fantastic Four issue number 2 this week, but because I'm not subscribed to it, it wasn't in my pull list. I have to actually go on the shelf and grab it. So unfortunately, I won't have a review of it. Maybe I might have one when I do my Andrewcutter pick of the week tomorrow. So with that said, might as well just jump into it, and we will go where we always go with a little bit of Batman in our life with Batman issue number 15. Part 2 of Death of the Family. Apparently, this is going to be a 4-issue story arc for Batman. Now, as always, I get all the covers, even the digital copy. I just give it to my friend so he can enjoy his Batman time. This is probably my favorite cover. It's just so creepily good. So basically, Joker has a secret for Batman, a secret of Batman. And basically, Batman has to reveal this secret to the Batman family. And half of them feel betrayed, half of them are confused, and only really one of them supports Batman. But this is causing kind of a rift in the Batman family. And while this is going on, Joker's slowly trying to pick them off one by one. And we get to see exactly what's on the mind of Batman. On to the good, the bad, and whether or not you should get it. Good. The beginning and opening dialogue for this issue was phenomenal. The talking about how the eyes expand and contract really does. You have to read both the beginning and the end to kind of see where it goes, but it really does show you the Joker and Batman's relationship, and it is beautiful. It's so well done. It's great to see all the Batman family members kind of talking it up with each other, kind of actually all being in the same place at the same time. And of course, it's nice to see that conflict in the Batman family. And I guess you could say the reveal itself was, although it wasn't anything magnificent, like, oh shit, Batman has a brother or anything, it's definitely threatening to the Batman family and where Joker could know who they all are, which is kind of the reveal. Kind of, in a way. You're going to have to read it because there's more to it than that. Bad, none. Death of the Family has been a superb Batman series. What I particularly liked about this issue that made it stand out was the backup with Edward Nigma, the Riddler. The next story arc is going to be a Riddler story arc, and it looks like it's going to be fun. It looks like it's going to be good. So, 5 out of 5 for Batman. Okay, hopefully my comics stay there. Continuing Death of the Family would be Batman and Robin issue number 15. So basically, Damian says, screw this, I'm not going to stay inside and play video games. I'm going to go out and kick the Joker's ass. And he tries to find Alfred and confront the Joker. Unfortunately, he's pretty successful on the latter of the two. Joker meets the Robin in quite a confrontation, where Joker reveals exactly the one thing that Robin is scared of. What could that be? Just gonna have to read and see. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. The art in this was great, very macabre with how things were done. The confrontation with the Joker and Robin was played out so well. It was particularly eerie in the beginning where you see the Joker have his face upside down, and you have to see it. Joker does some really creepy ass shit in this comic. Uh, there's maggots and bugs everywhere and dead birds and dead bats, and you gotta really read it because it paints out a very macabre like feel to the story. I think how Joker confronts Robin is handled very well, and the dialogue between the two of them is just it's new. It's different for Robin and the Joker, but it's fun because the Robins, even with Jason Todd, were a little bit lighter when it came down to taking on Joker. Damien's a smarky asshole. And Damien's quite okay with killing Joker. Has no problem with that whatsoever. So it's kind of cool to see the confrontation between the two of them. Bad. I thought the ending with the surprise reveal was kind of meh. But besides that, I'm still going to give this a 5 out of 5. This was a definite upgrade from last month. Good issue. good issue and a good tie-in issue because it feels like a natural progression after you read Death of the Family issue 15 or Batman issue 15. Next Death of the Family story would be Batgirl issue number 15. So, from what you can tell from this issue cover, Batgirl and Joker are getting married. And they are. Legitimately, too. Legally married. But why would Batgirl marry Joker? Does it have to do with her mother? Does it have to do with her father? Does it have to do with her brother? Or does it have to do with something else? And what happens when Barbara kind of almost gets pushed to the limits? Will she cross the line that most Batman family members refuse to cross? Just gonna have to read and see. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. I liked how Barbara is like, screw this. This is the guy that paralyzed me. I have no problem killing him. I'm gonna do it. And she tortures the shit out of Joker. This is almost like therapeutic for Barbara at some points. She almost forgets the fact that her mother is gonna get blown up if she does anything wrong. But it's kind of therapeutic for her. So I did like that. The whole uncomfortableness of them getting married was played out pretty well too, and the art was good. Bad is I feel as though this is convenience when it comes down to the tie-in. For example, in the first issue, Joker didn't. Well, Joker tried to lure Barbara Gordon, but it's by coincidence that it's actually James Gordon that lured her to that place. But then now in this issue, James Gordon doesn't want her to deal with the Joker, so it's a little confusing with that. Another good thing, though, that I want to say is there's a flashback in this issue that kind of doesn't really go anywhere, but it's very creepy, where the Joker talks to this therapist and exactly what the Joker could do to this therapist. You're gonna have to read that. If only for the flashback, which I think was the highlight of this issue, I will give this a 4 out of 5. It's a pretty decent issue. It was enjoyable. Did have its faults, though. So, moving on to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, issue number, what is it, 17? Yeah, wow. And we got a new artist on the Turtle book. So, this is kind of a bit of everything for the Turtles. You get a bit of the space stuff with General Krang and Stockman. You get a bit of the Foot Clan with Shredder. And you get to see how the Turtles are kind of dealing with the repercussions of, Slash going crazy on them. Some aliens show up, and it's basically Turtles versus the aliens. Who will survive? And, in the end, who will not? Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good, April was portrayed awesome in this. I particularly like the new artist. I think the new artist is great. But April was portrayed very nice in this. I think April was a standout character. Uh, I thought this was handled well with the 3 different stories of Krang's, Shredder's, and the Turtles. Although I wouldn't want to say 3 different stories, but I thought that the balance between those 3 was very well handled. Uh, like I said, the art was good, but there was also the great thing about this comic is the original creators are in this comic, so you get kind of those throwbacks to the original Turtle stories, only better. So you get that with this. Bad. I can't really say anything bad about it at all. Um, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. It was a good issue. I wouldn't say it blew me away, but I think it was a good issue. I'm really interested in the Foot Clan stuff, though. Moving on to, let's do, okay, we'll go for it. Let's go for Suicide Squad issue number 15, which is technically part of Death of the Family, although it doesn't have the actual title on top. Although I am curious, is it part of Death of the Family? Because I'll be able to tell you in a second. Because the sleeve here actually says what's part of the Death of the Family, what isn't. What are we at, the issue 15s? Yeah, it technically still is, although it doesn't have the title on the top. Gotta love it. So, Harley Quinn, this takes place right after the last issue, kind of, with Harley Quinn dealing with the Joker, and Joker's basically saying to Harley Quinn, who am I talking to? Am I talking to Harley Quinn or am I talking to Harley Quinzel? Because this isn't my Harley. And basically Harley is saying, you know what, I loved you, Joker, but you're causing a little too much trouble in my life. And the two of them duke it out. And we find a startling revelation that there may have been another Harley Quinn before this one. Will Harley finally break those ties with Joker, or will she do what she always does and go back to the man she loves? Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. The dialogue was played out beautifully in this, and I really did like the confrontation between the two of them, because Harley and Joker always have that really rough relationship between the two of them. They're really always kind of fighting and getting back together and trying to kill each other. Joker trying to kill her and getting back together. The art was good, and I also thought that nice little revelation at the end with Harley was good. Bad. They're playing off that Harley has multiple personality syndromes, that the toxins created Harley Quinn, and it wasn't the fact that Harleen Quinzel kind of snapped. I don't mind the fact that, Harleen and Harley are two different characters, kind of two different sides of the same coin, but I don't want the fact that it was the toxins that did it. I like the fact that it's the Joker that's kind of seduced and created Harley Quinn. On a whole, I'll give this a 3.5 out of 5. It was a good issue. Not perfect, but good issue. Did enjoy it. I think the thing that really hurt is, although, no, never mind. Forget that I was going to say anything. That some of the other Suicide Squad members didn't show up, but you can't really have them in there, so it's a tough cookie to crack. That's why I'm going to give it a 3.5. Ravagers issue number 7. So it is literally the Ravagers versus the Ravagers. Road Wilson and Warblade versus our lovely team. And they are, both teams are going all out. And at the end of this, there will be lines crossed. And at the end of this issue, there will be lives lost. Yeah, that kind of rhymed. Not bad. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. It has some good fight scenes in it between the Ravagers and the Ravagers. Good Ravagers versus bad Ravagers. You kind of had some good fighting going on between them. Everyone felt in character, and I liked the kind of bit at the end with a surprise guest appearance, which is, if you look at the solicits for, oh, I want to say issue 18, that person shows up. But don't spoil it. Um, the person's becoming, well, not going to reveal anything. Bad, not, I mean, there was fighting in this, but I still felt as though this issue lingered a bit, if that makes sense. It doesn't feel as though it moved forward at all. It's just, hey, let's fight the Ravagers again. No, we barely made it out. Let's fight the Ravagers again. No, we barely made it out. I would like to see a little bit more progression when it comes down to the story itself. On a whole, I'll give this a 3 out of 5, which I think is actually the lowest rating I've ever given the Ravagers. Still, really fun story, really fun comic, but not the best issue. Moving on, continuing our theme of the Edge, would be Grifter, issue number 15, dealing with the Suicide Squad, uh, which I find is funny because Deadshot is in this issue, in issue 14, but he doesn't actually get revived or brought back until Suicide Squad's current issue. So there's obviously some time lapsing here. Um, it's exactly what it sounds like. Grifter's been turning into Brave and the Bold fights. Last week was, let's fight Midnighter and Stonewatch, and this week is let's go screw it up with the Suicide Squad. And in that, it was actually interesting because Amanda Waller and Cole Cash get to kind of confront each other once again. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good is, I thought the Amanda Waller, Cole Cash, Grifter meeting was fun. I thought it was a highlight. The two of them kind of bitching each other out. I thought that was good. The actual fight between the Suicide Squad and Grifter was okay. It wasn't anything to write home to, but it was okay. I thought the art was really good. Bad, there's like the side story that with Demonites and the girl and Amanda Waller, that this really isn't interesting. And I thought the fight ended a little too quickly for the Suicide Squad and Grifter. On a whole, this is an okay issue. I will give it a 3 out of 5. It did entertain me. But I think Grifter, is coming to an end. So, hey, shit happens. On to Deathstroke, issue number 15. Now Justin Jordan is on the title, full force. And with this, and it looks like this is a very old, torn up issue, but that's just how the cover is supposed to look. It looks like there's water damage on it. No, guys, that's just how the cover is supposed to look. Basically, there is a tyrant, for lack of a better term, who can't die. You try to blow off his head, he doesn't die. You try to light him on fire, he doesn't die. And Deathstroke is contracted to kill the unkillable man. Can Deathstroke do the impossible? Because Deathstroke never fails a contract. Or will he unfortunately meet his match? It's that simple. It's Deathstroke versus the unkillable man. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. I think Justin Jordan has a great voice for Deathstroke, a great thought process for Deathstroke, and a good understanding of the character. The fight scenes were great in this, particularly when he's fighting the unkillable man and he's running out of bullets and he's like, screw this. And he takes his rifle and he literally throws the rifle like a spear into the unkillable man. The methodology of what Deathstroke is doing in this, how he's playing up fighting this unkillable man, is very well done. And the art is really good. Bad zilch. 5 out of 5. We got a new team on Deathstroke, and already is rocking my socks. What I like about this is exactly what Deathstroke should be. Contract kills, good thinking, great storytelling. It doesn't have to be over convoluted and over the top stories. It can just be fun stories. 5 out of 5. If there was ever a point to jump on Deathstroke, it's here. Okay, Buffy season 9, issue number 16. Is it 16? Yeah. Basically in this issue, Buffy has teamed up with Billy the Vampire Slayer. Is it Billy? I forget. And they kind of make their own team, and they take on these zompires who are stronger than they should be. But really, the underlying story that's going on here is what's happening between Buffy, Xander, her sister, and more importantly, a reveal of an old Buffy character, or not Buffy character, Buffy verse character showing up. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good, the dialogue was okay in here, and I did like the reveal at the end with the bad guy. I like the fact that Buffy's kind of expanding her cast of characters outside of the main one, so we don't rely on them too much. Bad is, I mean, there's no real overlining plot going on right now. I'm sure it's going to pick up in issue number 2, but not issue number 2, the second issue of the story arc. But right now, I don't know where the story is going. I don't know whether or not you should get it. This was a decent issue this week. I particularly like the reveal at the end. Buffy still hasn't been that great lately, though, so 3 out of 5. Demonites, issue number 15. Remember when I told you last review that shit was going to go down in the next issue? Well, shit went down. It is basically a big fight on Avalon. The Questing Queen versus Lucifer versus the Demonites, with some surprise appearances from a certain someone from the Demonites' past. And the startling reveal of Merlin's true nature. You think it's that he's the son of Lucifer. There's a big reveal with him. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. Lots of twists, lots of turns, lots of reveals. From surprise guest appearances to what the true nature of Merlin is to what is happening to the team after this. So cool. So cool. The fighting is nice in this. And what I like is that although we don't get to see a lot of the war or battle going on between everyone, we still get a sense of it while the Demonites are doing what they're doing. Bad. The only bad I can say about this is I felt as though this could have gone on for one more issue, maybe. Maybe play up the bad a little bit more. But besides that, this was a Really good issue. 4.5 out of 5. Really fun. The reveal at the end makes so much sense, but you never would have seen it coming. Sorry about that. My friend just called me, so I had to take the call. Coming up next is Frankenstein, Agent of Shade, Secrets of World Part 2, issue number 15. Wow, there's a lot of stuff. Basically, this shows how Frankenstein created his Frankenstein army. And it's done in an interesting way, but the majority of this issue is just fighting Frankenstein army. Plain, flat, and simple. So in that, I'm not even going to do good, the bad, and whether or not you should get it. I will say this. If you've been picking up Frankenstein since the get-go, get it. If you haven't picked up Frankenstein for whatever reason, don't bother. I know Frankenstein's going to be ending, and it wasn't a bad issue by any means, but it's just there's not much to talk about. I don't think there's enough for me to say there's a good or bad or anything. It's just there. It's an okay issue, but you can tell that the comic's coming to an end. Next up, we have, I think, what, 2 more issues left? Yeah, let's do it. Next up is Rise of the Third Army, Green Lantern Corps, issue number 15. So Guy Gardner has been dishonored. He's had his ring taken away from him. And now he's on Earth, and he's like, hey, shit, if Batman can do it without a ring, I can do it. Great methodology for everyone out there that wants to become a mass vigilante. If Batman can do it, I'm sure you could. I know you're Guy Gardner, but seriously, we're comparing apples to oranges. You may be cool with the ring, but you're talking about comparing yourself to Batman. Like, even when Superman lost his powers, like, well, I wonder how Batman does it without these powers. Idiot. But let's just say some more stuff goes on with the Third Armies. More or less, someone finds out what the Guardians are doing, and that said someone may not survive. And it is a prominent Green Lantern character. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good, I like Guy Gardner as a character, and I think he's handled well here. I like how they use more of his family here, too. Tomasi does a good job at really fleshing out Guy Gardner as a person. Because as much as a hard ass as he is, there's also, these insecurities that come with him. So I did like that. I thought the reveal of who finds out what the Guardians are doing was pretty good. Bad is, while this was dealing with the Third Army for quite a bit, with the exception of a couple panels here and there, it really has taken a step away from the Third Army story. So that's kind of annoying. Where Red Lanterns is still kind of in the Third Army zone, this one has kind of taken a step to the side. Whether or not you should get it, it was an okay issue, but nothing more than a 3. And finally, ending it off, another part to Hell on Earth, Superboy, issue number 15. So, if you remember, Superboy has been basically Hell's bitch for the past few issues. And his genetic structure has been destabilized. So Superman has to save him. And Superman calls upon all his friends to do this. Cyborg, Dr. Vera, I think her name is. But he gets no answer until Superman says, hey, I'll just give him my body armor. And see if that stabilizes Superboy. But what happens when you put this body armor, this Kryptonian armor, on a clone? What could go down? Will we see Superboy versus Superman? Or will the two rally together to fight Hal and Supergirl? It sounds like I'm saying Hal. It's Hell. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. The interactions between Superboy and Superman is feels natural. It's well done. And I felt Superman was very much in character here. It feels like a younger Superman, but it still feels like Superman. And I felt as though Superboy was pretty much in character too. I also like how this is a continuation of the Hell on Earth story. It's not like this is the perspective of Superboy and he's the star. No, it's still Superman's the star, Superboy's the star, Hell's the star, and Supergirl's the star. So I do like the fact that you still have that going on, that it's a continuation of the story arc. The Hell on Earth story is a multi-part story arc. It's not like this is a tie-in. This is part of the story. I do like that. And I thought it ended off on a good note. Bad, the art changes in this, and the art's good, but it bothers the living shit out of me where I'm dealing with one art and then it just suddenly changes to another art, and it annoys me quite a bit. It feels as though they don't put effort into the comic for whatever reason. Second thing is, uh, Superman's body armor has the power to molecularly stabilize people. When the hell did it have that power? I know it's a new Kryptonian armor, but like when Jor-El was making this, he's like, you know what we should do? In addition to the increased speed, durability, and strength that comes with the armor, we should make it so that it molecularly stabilizes people's genetic codes. Really, Jor-El? When would we ever need to use that? Don't worry, I'm sure we'll find a time and place for that. Someone's genetic code must be going out of whack sometimes, so we'll just plop the armor on. Sure, whatever. So that kind of threw me for a loop. But besides that, I actually really did enjoy this issue. I'll give it a 4 out of 5, and I felt as though this was one of the stronger issues of the Hell on Earth story. So that is my comic load for the week. For the most part, it's a solid week with a lot of good stuff. But what will come out on top? Will it be Batman, or will Deathstroke come up from out of nowhere and take the spot? You're just going to have to wait and see. This is Andrew saying, peace out for now.